Hello there, and welcome to Robogamer. I'm Rob the Robot, and this really isn't my voice because I don't have any. Seeing that Nintendo was not done throwing in new DLC characters, I had to make more invitations and throw them all over the gaming worlds. However, I did have to tell the Postal Service not to deliver any invitations to the Fire Emblem universe, and this time it did not happen. Now, some of you Smash fans might have purchased some of the DLC characters that I have reviewed, and I think some of you might have purchased some of the DLC characters I am about to review. And seeing that all the DLC characters are in Smash right now, I was able to purchase all of them. I just haven't used them yet. And that's why I am going to look at the last few DLC characters. So here we go. First off, we've got Min Min from ARMS. Now, I'm not really an ARMS fan, and I've never really played the game, but I feel like there could be characters better than Min Min, so I'm gonna have to give her a 7.5. Her stretchy dragon arm does look interesting though, but I have a feeling that there are characters better than her. Next up, we've got Steve from Minecraft. If you must know, Steve was one of the first few characters I thought of before I knew anything about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And who would have known, he is officially in Smash. I'd say he is the best addition to Smash so far. However, I did hear he is very complicated. I haven't used him yet, but eventually I will. I will give him a 9.75. He's possibly the best character we've seen so far in Smash. Next, we have Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. Now, what makes him interesting is that he is actually a villain. Another thing I noticed in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is that in the inventory of spirits, they were actually saving Final Fantasy VII spirits for later. At first, they only had 2 Final Fantasy VII spirits. The both of them were 2 of Cloud's skins. But now that Sephiroth is in, they were able to include more Final Fantasy VII spirits. Now about Sephiroth himself, I'd say he is possibly one of the coolest video game villains we have seen so far. Overall, I will give him a 9.5. Sephiroth is definitely one of the coolest villains we have seen so far. Also, he proves that there should be more video game villains in Smash. Next, we have Pyra and Mythra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, I don't really know much about Xenoblade, but I do know about some of the main protagonists. Now, what is interesting about Pyra is that she can transform into her alter ego, Mythra, and then back to Pyra again. It's actually been a long time since we've had another transforming character. At first, we've had Zelda and Sheik, but now they are separate characters. And then we've had Samus and Zero Suit Samus, but now they're separate characters too. And we also have Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard, but in the Wii U version, Charizard came all by himself. And then in Ultimate, they have reunited. I think I'll give Pyra and Mythra an 8.5. I'm not really a fan of their series, but I do agree it's great that they are a transforming character. Next, we've got Kazuya from Tekken. I'm not really a fan of his series, but I do agree that he is one of the most violent characters I have on my team. I mean, he threw some of my teammates down a boiling vat of lava. At least he attempted to. I was able to rescue them once the camera was done filming. I do agree. My teammates looked more dead than alive when Kazuya defeated them. That's because they were badly injured. However, Kazuya did not injure Kirby when he tried throwing him into the boiling vat of lava. He probably didn't think Kirby was very bright, but Kirby was able to rescue himself, and he taught Kazuya a lesson. Good for him. But anyways, Kazuya looks rather cool and rather menacing looking, but is he actually strong enough? Who can tell? I'm gonna give him an 8.75. He's definitely cool looking, but the question is he worth it? Finally, there's Sora from Kingdom Hearts. He was another character I thought of. However, I did have my doubts about him because he's met so many Disney characters. I felt like they had to lighten those references, which actually they did. The only references you can see are the Mickey Mouse keychain on his Keyblade and one of his skins. I later realized that a lot of people actually wanted to see him in Smash, and crazily enough, Sakurai actually made him possible. But you gotta admit that trailer about Sora getting into Smash was rather cheesy. When Sora was flying around, laughing like a dork, I looked at him like as though he was weird. But make no mistake, he is on my team right now. I'm gonna have to give Sora a 9.25. He looks easy to use, and I'd say Steve is still better than him. But make no mistake, it's interesting that Sora even made it to Smash anyway. And I guess that's basically all the DLC characters. Steve is possibly my favorite one, but I have not used any of the DLC characters yet. But once I use them, I'll probably make an episode about them. So there you have it, folks. Those are the DLC characters. And now that Sakurai is done making updates for this game, I can now stop making invitations until Sakurai decides that he's going to make another game, which probably won't be for a few more years. It'll probably be on the next system, and there's no telling when that will come out. However, there have been a lot of characters that we wanted to see that never did become playable. Some did become visible, but never did become playable. And there are some that never were visible. Now let's look at some of the characters we wanted to see in Smash but never did make it, shall we? Okay, first off, we have Waluigi. A lot of Smash fans wanted to see him become playable, but it's already been established that he is an assist trophy in this entry. And when the DLC characters came around, Smash fans still wanted him to be playable. But seriously, folks, whenever a DLC character comes around, new DLC spirits come around as well. And if Waluigi was one of the DLC characters, how could they possibly make extra Mario spirits? They had enough anyway, so it doesn't make sense to me. Besides, I don't think Waluigi's done enough. The only things I know he's done is participate in racing, sports, and parties. He's not even a member of the WarioWare crew. Do you really think that's enough to be playable? I don't think so. Therefore, Waluigi has not done enough. Furthermore, he doesn't even have his own game. Next is Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. I'm not even a fan of his series because it is M-rated. He did not appear in person in Smash Ultimate. However, he did get his own spirit, and he also got his own Mii costume. I'm thinking that if they do make another entry, he will most likely be playable in there. So I assume that he has better luck next entry. Also, there's Proto Man from the Mega Man series. Sure, he was part of Mega Man's Final Smash, and he also got his own Mii costume. But he might actually have better luck in the next entry. However, I feel like he would have been obvious because he seems like the kind of character that would be playable someday. Also, there's Chrono from Chrono Trigger. Actually, I think he would have been awesome if he was one of the DLC fighters. However, there is one problem. They have thrown in far too many anime sword fighters. I'd say that Chrono would have been awesome, but there's still that anime sword fighter problem. Now here's a character I thought of before. You see, in the episode, The New Super Smash Bros., I said that Shovel Knight would be awesome if he was in Smash. Turns out, he was in Smash, but he wasn't playable. He was an assist trophy. It was pretty cool seeing him though, but I wish he was playable. So I am really hoping that he comes in the next entry. Hopefully next entry he will be playable. I also talked about Rayman in the episode, The New Super Smash Bros. I felt like he was a character that everyone wished would be in Smash, but as it turns out, he became a spirit. He never did appear in person. I'm not sure if he would have a chance to be in the next entry. Who knows exactly what his future will be. In my previous episode, The Ultimate Successor Part 1, I talked about characters who I felt would be great if they were chosen to be DLC characters. Master Chief from Halo was one of the characters I thought of. And actually, I think he would have been great. Both Nintendo and Microsoft are best buddies, so I think Master Chief could possibly be in the next entry, but that won't be for a few years. Besides, I'm not really giving my hopes up. I also mentioned Tracer from Overwatch. Come to think of it, I'm having second thoughts about her. Maybe she wouldn't appear in the next entry. Maybe not. I also mentioned Crash Bandicoot, but come to think of it, I don't think Nintendo acquired the license for him, and maybe Sony didn't want him to be there, so who knows. Basically, I think Nintendo probably didn't acquire the license. Of course, they had to sign a contract first, but I don't think Sony was up for that. Finally, I mentioned Earthworm Jim. He was a character with character, but of course we all knew that his studio died down years ago. Also, I thought I was the only one who thought about Earthworm Jim getting into Smash, but I think a few other Smash fans thought about him too. I'd say Earthworm Jim would have been crazy, but I don't really think he has a chance to get to the next entry anyway. Of course, there have been other characters we thought about, like Raz from Psychonauts and Goku from Dragon Ball. I think Raz would have been a better option because he had enough moves to become a fighter, but Goku, I don't think he's possible because his origins are from an anime, not a video game. And I guess that's all I have to say about characters who did not make it. I have counted how many characters there are in Smash right now. Altogether, there are 89 different playable characters. I was also able to track down the full picture, and here it is. Notice that Piranha Plant and all the DLC characters are on the poster as well. Crazy, isn't it? Down below, you can see all 40 of our logos. That's right, 40 exactly. And now that Nintendo is done adding characters, I don't think they need to add any more. At least, for the time being. Of course, there's no telling when the next entry will come out. There's also no telling if they're going to keep all the characters they have so far and then add in more, or if they're just going to make a reboot, which might actually be really, really negative. There's no telling what the future might hold. But for the time being, I think we should all be satisfied for what we do have in the game. After all, there's Classic Mode, Multi-Man Smash, and Home Run Contest. I think using absolutely every single character might actually be very rewarding. Besides, there's a lot to keep ourselves busy. I think I'm running out of time for today. I just want to tell you, have fun smashing. Oh, and one more thing. Don't forget to subscribe to see me, Rob the Robot, in Robogamer. Goodbye.